Some days it begins like this. The fear of forgetting I am well crawls into my mouth like a word that regrets being spoken.
Nice.
It presses sour phrases against my teeth, tongue, and gums. I want to tell it stop, that I am well, that my blood is my blood. But as I ready to swallow, it wedges another phrase onto the back of my tongue. Something about the flawlessness of the antibody's memory, how it never forgets the image of the mother that abandoned it here in this body. Yes, some days begin like this.
Whoa. Goosebumps. Standing on end.
So now we're getting to the portion of where the poems I'm not exactly loving, but I'm tweaking, but I've been demanded to read this one by Kiona, who brought me to the Lizard Lounge for the first time in my life 4 years ago.
Woo woo! That's me.
So this one's called The Breasts You Kept.
Yeah.
1. You never told your daughter you were dying. She left the table during dinner. You'd asked your mother to straighten a frame on the wall. A little to the left, no, enough. She comes running back to the room, aims the handle of a back scratcher at your head, a deliberate poke. She wants to know if your hair will budge, wants an answer you won't give. 2. I draw fear into the gathering of a smile, say, I've missed you, it's good to see you, and oh, what I see. 3. The weight you've always wanted to lose has left you sullen, deep pockets where your eyes lie, skeleton of your face, ghost grimace in your laugh, someone else's hair, your still pedicured feet, the breasts you decided to keep. 4. For an entire month after your body stopped, I could hear your voice on the answering machine. The shock of each word white as the pale imprints of my hands on your ankles, which I lifted many times onto pillows at the foot of your bed. Hi, you've reached Cindy. Sorry you've missed me. This one's called Fingertips Wings, and it's based on a poem that is carved into the bricks in Davis Square. And the poem goes, as I leave the spit gray factory, crowds of blackbirds drift up into the cumulus like released balloons. I hold the wings of my fingertips in my coat pocket. It's by E.J. Graff. When I left the subway this evening, stepping onto the platform of brick, my fingertips were without wings. I pressed them tight into my palm, where the tenderness begged the question of whether or not I remembered your face, contorted by what the inside of my body could do for you and not me, no. Graff's poem is carved into the brick. This morning I tapped on the letters with the toe of my shoe and thought epitaph, a slip, I meant epigraph. Passengers scurrying past this poem at my feet, I memorized the desperate words of Stephen Blackpool's Coketown Hand for the hope that might remain. We met in front of the bookstore. I was reading Theory of Religion by the Do Not Walk sign. Careful. I was reading Theory of Religion by the Do Not Walk sign, while you were inside somewhere between Bukowski and Kundera. You approached me with that smile, holding a book of poems by H.D. You read her poetry aloud to me on that mattress on the hardwood floor after you had me that time in May. After you'd finished, I told you I didn't like verse and rhyme. And then you had me again and again. Leaving the train this February night, when I saw you and her, I drew my hands from my pockets thinking, fingertips, wings, fingertips. Curled my thin hands toward my wrists like the defect of a palsy. I have 2 left. This This next one is called Disaster, and it's based on the etymology of disaster, which is away or from the star, and I use two obsolete definitions which have to do with an unfavorable position of a star being the cause of an illness.
Say that again.
Disaster. In the sky of blood, cells were once stars, fixed, and the body a veined constellation, humors just right, no such thing as disaster. An unfavorable aspect of a planet or star when it falls away from the rest. A virus usurps, like an arrowhead dipped in the blood of Hydra, causing painful wounds that won't heal, replaces Prometheus with Chiron. Such an obnoxious planet, this liver. Would the puncture of an eagle's clawed beak cause a greater loss of sky?
Yeah.
This is my last poem. It's called Visiting Amber at the Lowell Correctional Institution. In the windowless room, my mother and I remove shoes, socks, and spread our arms wide between the cinder block wall and locked door. The guard takes a swallow of V8 before patting us down. Inside, I ask Amber if this is a maximum security facility. She tells me they've got her in here with murderers. Like the gardener, worked at a daycare, killed a few kids there, buried them before they were dead. They gave her yard duty until she began to name the trees she planted after the kids she'd killed. Slicing deep into her thighs, she mortared her excrement in, bound together the edges of her skin, got gangrene, is in a wheelchair now. I don't want to think about her no more, Amber says. Seeing her every day is bad enough. An inmate takes Polaroids, $2 each, acrylic wall paintings in the background. One is of an angel, feathers fanned out in a pastel sky. Stand here. I want you to have wings, Amber says. She's to my right, our mother to my left. We smile big. When I dream about my sister, she's a child. In our Florida backyard, wide-eyed and silent, filling buckets with garden snakes and catching strawberry-necked lizards poised with the want of a mate. With one hand she holds a lizard's wriggling body. With the other she hinges its jaws opened, then closed onto the lobe of her ear. Thank you.